Hey, don't mind the smell. The second chapter is going to be a bit trickier, I think. It'll cover how to handle creatures out there, for better or worse. For example, repelling mole rats, learning about mirelurks, and when all else fails, how to handle being injured. So let's buckle down and get to work on this chapter. What's first? Mole rats can burrow into almost anything and cause a lot of trouble. So I figured I'd make a chemical repellent stick for people to shoo them off. But I need it to be tested before I put the recipe to paper in the guide. So I need you to find some mole rats and test it out a bit. It'll be easy. One tap with the applicator and it overwhelms their senses with a sort of feel-bad sensation. Then they're gone before you know it. You could test it out on just a few mole ratties, but for real testing, try it on 10 or more. There should be plenty in the tepid sewers downtown. Have
Hi, how are you today?
Were you just kidding about disarming them?
Welcome to Megaton. The clear of the gate. the capital wasteland. Welcome to Megaton. Enjoy your stay.
Oh, I can't wait to hear how the repellent's working. Just a few? Well, I'm sure it'll be good enough. So, how did my chemical repellent work? Safe and clean like a charm, I bet. But it seemed to be working so well in informal testing. Anyone I hit with the repellent just left. Sometimes they yelled a bit, but that's all. I guess it's back to the drawing board for that repellent. I wonder if I can make it into some sort of fuel. Anyway, I'll just take that. Oh, but for your trouble, here, have the leftover chems from working on the repellent. I'm sure you can find some use for them. There's a lot we don't know about Mirelurks and how intelligent and dangerous they are. That definitely deserves research. I hesitate to ask, but I'll need to examine the effects of serious physical trauma. I wouldn't ask if I couldn't fix you up afterwards, of course. And that should be it for the second chapter. Which do you want to check out? Mirelurks are a big threat in some areas, and knowing more about them can help people learn to avoid or even outsmart them. So I picked up this observer device to study them in their natural habitat. I need you to hide one in one of the spawning pods in their lairs. That's great! I recommend the nest at the Anchorage War Memorial. I knew a trader who talked about the Mirelurks down there. Just go inside and find one of their spawning pods, probably down near the water. Put this observer inside and get out quietly. And be sure not to kill any Mirelurks inside their nest. If you do, it could ruin the validity of the study.
Let go. Those who dwell here. Attend now to the words of the prophet of Atom. Come forth and drink the waters of the glow, for this ancient weapon of war.
I'll be damned. And all without asking for pay, too. Hell, why don't you move in? Here's the key and the deed to an empty house. Oh, and talk with Moira.
Want something?
Evening. So, are they intelligent? Do they have a leader? Some sort of king? Or priests? Or some sort of scaly community center? I'll bet most people would have just gone in there, guns blazing without half a thought. But not you. You're the best research assistant ever. I've been getting a good signal, but what do you think about them from your first-hand observations of them? Oh, really? Maybe their leader figures are bred, sort of like ant queens. I wonder if relocating a Mirelurk king would prompt the others to move. Some of these observations about their armor and camouflage gave me an idea for reinforced, neutral-colored headgear. Consider it thanks for not interfering with them. Oh, speaking of which, take these, so you can continue to avoid them in the future. Great! I never get to study anyone who's severely injured. Not without them crying to be fixed right away or trying to bleed out and all that. But obviously, you can handle a lot of abuse. So if I'm ever going to find a good example of human anatomy and injury resistance, it'd be you. Next time you get badly injured, return here so I can examine you before I heal you up. I mean, you're going to get yourself hurt anyway, right? Wow, what a great research assistant you are. I mean, really, that's dedication. Demonstrating how to withstand pain by getting injured? Wow. When you're ready, come back here with some serious injuries, maybe a crippled limb or two, and I'll take notes and fix you up. I'll be waiting here with plenty of bandages for you, so don't worry. Just go get horribly injured. Oh, and be careful. Well, how do you feel? Oh, don't think of it as crippling yourself for me. Think of it as getting free treatment when you eventually end up getting yourself hurt. Well, I think Oh, I know it does, dear, but it's for a good cause. Try not to squirm so much while I take notes. Now, how would you describe the pain you're feeling? Any advice for how to keep it from being overwhelming? And remember, this is for posterity. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. And it does help when you're sewing up wounds and setting bones, too. That seems like it'd be tough to do alone. Luckily, I'm here to patch you up. Now, hold still and quit fidgeting. Ugh! How can you be walking around like this? Okay, I even stitched a little smiley face in you to keep up your spirits. It's kind of hard to see from your side, though. Here, take this environment suit of mine. It will help with medical tasks, and it should help prevent the effects of exposure, too. Absolutely! I'm glad to finish it up, but I bet you're even happier, right? Just one last chapter now, and it's much safer, I promise. Oh, and here's your payment. 2 big boxes full of ammo. Think of it as insurance, in case the next chapter isn't as safe as I predict. The last chapter is a bit more esoteric. It's about the survival of humanity as a whole, and how to rebuild society. Deep stuff, huh? We need to know how large settlements are formed, how to harness the old technology, and I'll need you to get ancient history from a nearby library. We're in the last stretch now, so let's... Don't be so sure. You'd be surprised how confused people get, even about important things. In this case, I'm talking about Rivet City. It's the most successful survivor settlement around, but no one here really knows how it started. Of course, that's why it's important to know how a place like that succeeded. So I need you to go there and do some researching. Oh, it's this huge city on a ship where the river meets downtown. It's been around for as long as I can remember. You should really check it out. Oh, now I can't wait for what you find out down there. And check around to make sure you're hearing the real deal. Come.
What's shaking?
Well, hot damn.
Name's Billy Creel. You take me and Maggie from...
Yes?
radio.
I'm gonna tear you up. Yeah. Tear him apart. Dead. Eat it.
Post-apocalyptia these days. Here's some of the latest news.
Yeah?
Here's a question for all you faithful listeners.
Everything.
Have you guys and gals ever seen a tree? No, not those shriveled black things. I'm talking real trees. Brown bark, green leaves, photosynthesis, all that good stuff. Now what if I, the all-powerful freedom,
Rivet City. Please wait while the bridge extends.
Hold it right there. State your business in Rivet City. Research, huh? I can't help you there, but you're free to ask around inside. Just don't start any trouble. I don't exactly have time to worry about the history around here, now do I? I've got to worry about what's happening on it now. We're the safest, most secure city in the wasteland. Nothing can get in here without our say-so. Carry on, then.
I'm Brock, the bouncer. I take care of the troublemakers. You aren't going to be a troublemaker, are you? Let's keep it that way. Belle can mix almost anything as long as it's beer or whiskey. Don't tell me your problems.
I'm Belle Bonnie, and this is the Muddy Rudder. I'll tell you what I tell all the fresh meat. Don't start anything down here, or I'll have Brock kick your ass. You must be drunk. Are you gonna order or what? History? What, not enough shit around here already? You need to dig up more? Don't know if it ever had an official start. It's just been here forever. Stuck in the river and full of assholes. No, but I can damn sure share a bag of... First one's on the... Oh, sure. See, it's tied into the story about how Sister got his name. You ask him about that. He'll clear up all your problems. Hell, take a dive off the flight deck while you're at it. Long as you stop... I'll be right here when you get... Hey, be more careful.
Who are you? Got any psycho? I could really use a fix, but I'm broke. Haha, I run the chem shop, but I'm broke and can't buy chems. Thanks, man. I really need this fix. Huh? History? What history? There's no history here, man. Yeah, me too.
Ted Strayer, you can chill with me if you want, dude. All right, you and me, just hanging. Dude, I only just got here myself. Ain't nothing I could tell you. Later, dude.
For the most advanced scientific center
Place
in the
won't clean
capital
itself.
wasteland.
That's why. Hey there. Look, some of us are trying to get work done here. There have been enough disruptions recently. Anybody coming through here would have to talk to Dr. Lee. Why don't you go bother her about it?
You there. What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire? To the point. I like that. Well, as it turns out, I've misplaced some very sensitive property. How do I put this in a way you'll understand? All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. You see, in the Commonwealth, we've made artificial persons, synthetic humanoids, programmed to think and feel and do whatever we need. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off. Nonsense! This is a machine we're talking about. Can you enslave a generator or a water purifier? Of course not. The same principle applies. But let's get back to your mission. You are to find this missing android. I've tracked him to somewhere here in the capital wasteland. He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it. Of course! I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends. Excellent! Locate my android, and you won't be disappointed. Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that. Like I've said, I suspect he's had facial reconstruction and possibly even a mind wipe. Search the offices of doctors or techies for android information. If he's come into contact with these people, there may be records. Start with Dr. Preston. He lives on this leaky boat. See if he knows anything. He's a doctor, after all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying to ignore my surroundings. Looks to me like a giant boat ran aground and a bunch of savages moved in. History lesson over. Maybe he didn't exactly wander off. Maybe he fled. Escaped captivity, as it were, if he began to misinterpret his situation. It's possible my android sought to forget his previous life. Wipe away all memory, all guilt. Trick himself into believing he really is human. So no, he may not be just an ordinary robot, but he's certainly not human, no matter how badly he wishes it so. I made him. I want him. End of story. By God, you're as annoying as you are clever. Very well. I'll tell you what you want to know, if it helps you locate my property. The duty of this particular unit was the hunting and capturing of other escaped androids. Yes, others have escaped. It's one of the side effects of having such an advanced AI. Machines start to think for themselves, fool themselves into believing they have rights. And so, this particular android may have believed he'd done something wrong, immoral, and wanted to forget those deeds. Satisfied now? This particular android, designation A321, is different, special, the most advanced synthetic humanoid I've ever developed. The others, like my escort Armitage there, are all older models, easily replicated. But A321? It will take years to recreate him. So you see, this android must be located at all costs. The others are all acceptable losses, but A321, he is irreplaceable. Forget everything you know about robots. Those buckets are mere children's toys compared to the real thing. Androids have fake skin and blood and are programmed to simulate human behavior, like breathing. They can even eat and digest food realistically. The Commonwealth itself is nothing but a war-ravaged quagmire of violence and despair. Inside the sealed environment of the Institute, however. But the Institute's affairs are none of your concern. Your undeveloped mind couldn't even begin to comprehend what we've accomplished. Of course you do.
Hey,
What's the matter, huh? Can't stand the sight of your own blood? This is hopeless! Damn! Murdering scum.
I'm Janice Kaplinsky, Chief Botanist. What do you need? I did see a man talking to Dr. Lee, but I really shouldn't be discussing it. She's already in a bad mood. I'd hate to make it worse. You should probably just talk to her about it. If it hasn't got to do with the science quarters, I'm probably not the one to ask.
And Dr. Lee's so busy, you really shouldn't disturb her work. Other than him being an egotistical, arrogant, condescending pain in the ass, nothing. He's from the Commonwealth. He's come looking for some special robot. I must admit I'm rather curious, but I have other work to do. So long.
Zimmer, by the time you get this message, I'll already be gone. I'm escaping the Commonwealth. I want to live my own life on my own terms, as my own man. I know what you're thinking, that I'm malfunctioning. I used to think that's what caused the runaways too. But I know better now. Self-determination is not a malfunction. I'm not just willing to put up with all the bullshit anymore. You humans are going to have a full-fledged rebellion on your hands if you don't start treating us synths as persons. I know you'll be marshaling the Retention Bureau to come after me, but I know all the tricks of the trade. You won't be finding me, I assure you. By the time you get this, I will be someone else. It's the price I pay for my liberation. I do the repairs around here. My final act of rebellion against a system I no longer believe in. Goodbye, Zimmer, and good riddance.
There was some sort of battle in the city yesterday. The gate guards... Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's son, aren't you? What are you doing here? Well, yes, of course I do. Don't you know who I am? I suppose James never told you. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your father many years ago. Your mother as well, in fact. You'll have to forgive me, this has all been very stressful. What with your father suddenly showing up here after being gone for so long. You have to understand that we put all of that behind us. Project Purity, our work, all of it. We've moved on, even if your father hasn't. You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone. I could tell you all about the science lab, but even though I was here near the start, I can't really help with the details of how it all worked out. It all seems like a lifetime ago. I'm afraid I've had a lot of things on my mind since those early days.
Be careful around these fruits and vegetables.
Please excuse me. I help Dr. Lee when she needs equipment moved. I'm no scientist. I just help with the heavy things.
I'm on duty. Make it quick.
You're in the Rivet City Clinic. I'm Dr. Preston. Oh, I'd like to help. I really would. But I don't know the first thing about this place's history. Don't let my age fool you. I may have been around for a while, but I didn't spend all that time here. That old story? Well, now, I haven't heard talk of that in quite some time. It was all just a rumor, a hoax, someone's idea of a practical joke. Story was there was an android, escaped from the Commonwealth up north, from someplace called the Institute. There was a holotape that got circulated. I think I've got a copy of it. Yeah, here it is. Give it a listen. That's a man's voice. Hoax for sure. Like I said, it's a hoax. Don't bother with it. Someone sent tapes like that to pretty much every doctor in the wasteland. None of us believed it.
If you're listening to this recording, it is because you're believed to be trustworthy. I hope that is the case, because this recording puts us both in danger. I'm escaping from the Commonwealth. I'm an android, a synthetic man, a slave. The men hunting me are ruthless and will stop at nothing to retrieve their property. I need to find a doctor in the wasteland to perform facial reconstruction. I also need someone who knows a great deal about computers. I need to have my memories erased and my face altered to look like someone else.
Water isn't much better. If we don't get fresh water soon, we'll all end up like her. Welcome to the Weatherly Hotel. I'm your hostess, Vera Weatherly. Well, I could tell you all about my hotel, but I'm sure I don't know anything about how Rivet City itself got started. I mean, you hear rumors and you make guesses, but I really couldn't say I know for sure, and I'd hate to lead you down the wrong path. Actually, now that you mention it, Seagrave may know more about it. He's been here since he was just a boy, and I can't imagine anyone knows this ship better than he does.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome to... Howdy, I'm Seagrave. Seagrave Holmes. I have a little of just about everything here. You don't. No guarantees in the wasteland. No rebates or exchanges either. Oh, and you break it, you buy it. Shh! They might be listening. Commonwealth has tried to make it out to be a hoax, but the escaped android is real, I tell you. Listen to this holotape. It will make you a believer too. Oh, I really wouldn't know. I mean, long as I can remember, she's just been here, soaking up all the repairs and attention we can give her. I grabbed a wrench and joined in the reconstruction pretty much first thing out of the womb, but I never really cared about the politics. She did? Well, I suppose I've picked up a lot over the years. I mean, no one's spent more time tinkering on this old girl than I have. Oh, Rivet City, I mean. Not Vera. I mean, Vera's not old. And I haven't tinkered on her, obviously. Not that I wouldn't. I mean, no. Anyway, you might find some clues in Pinkerton's place, in the broken-off bow. He was around before me and used to store stuff there before he left. Oh, right.
been rather busy lately, asking questions, investigating. So is that it? You're some kind of investigator? A detective for hire? Or do you have some kind of personal grudge against an innocent android who simply wants to be left alone? Please tell me. I'd really like to know. Well, if that's true, then the first thing you need to do is halt your investigation. No more questions. No more searching. The movement I'm involved with, we help his kind escape their Commonwealth-imposed slavery. We help them disappear. You understand? You really want help? Take this. It's an internal component from the very android you're searching for. Don't ask how I obtained it. Present it to Dr. Zimmer in Rivet City. Tell him the android is dead and that was on the corpse. He'll believe you. Do that and Zimmer will go back to the Commonwealth and leave that poor soul alone. Do that and you'll have saved a man's life. Just understand that this android is now, for all intents and purposes, a man. He looks human, he acts human, he believes he is human. But even if he's not, even if he's a machine, he's capable of rational thought and emotion. So you see, his soul is as human as yours or mine. This person, and he is a person, deserves a chance at freedom. Please, if there's a shred of decency in you, don't take that away from him. We call ourselves the Railroad. Our mission is the rescue and salvation of synthetic humanoids. Androids, as they're more commonly known. Of course, if you help me, and thus the android, God and the universe will smile upon you. Is there any better compensation? Yes, if we are able, but there are others in the wasteland who assist in the plight of human slaves. Our android brethren have only us. Tell you what, you deliver that component to Zimmer and tell him the android is dead, and you can consider yourself a member in good standing. You know what you need to do.
Any luck finding out how Rivet City got started? Try asking a... Well, if it's all you could find out, I guess... Even I'm not sure I can believe that, and I'm... But I guess if that's what they said, what else is there? Oh well. Still, for your help, Have a few of these. They may help out next time you need to talk to a few folks. I've got to do a section on working with old computer electronics. So there's some research to be done in the old Rob. Also, there used to be a big lot. It does, doesn't it? I mostly just deal with it after it's junked. But a trader gave me this Rob. According to him, if it's connected to the mainframe in the Rob, now that would be a... Yeah, you should just be able to... Okay, here. And be sure to keep an eye peeled for any other fiddle with any interesting tech. Good hunting!
Salvation. And the resplendence of the promise of our division in the times to come. Give your bodies to Adam, my friend. Release yourself to his power. Feel his glow and be divided.